Hello. Hopefully we are back. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Let me check a couple things first. Okay, good. There's audio, there's video, there's internet. That's been probably the key thing. It's been forever since I've been on, and I'm glad to be back. Hopefully everything went smoothly. Hi everyone. Hello, welcome. Um, Let me check a couple things before we kind of get rolling here. Make sure everything is available that I can see. I see people saying hi, good evening. We've never been on this late before. I know it's dinner time, so I'm not going to try to keep everybody forever. We're going to go ahead and get started on how we're doing. So we're going to go ahead and hopefully... Hold on, I'm trying to see what it says. We're going to go ahead and have some fun here. We're going to go over your test, which is coming up. Test is coming up. It is live tomorrow, which is Friday. Good. Test is tomorrow. However, it will not be live until 2 o'clock. I'm going live at noon tomorrow to do a final walkthrough. For those of you who keep up in Schoology and does all the stuff they're supposed to be doing, you'll see that everything is available in Schoology. That study guide is a beast. That study guide, honestly, is almost for you guys like cheating. So you guys will have a significant advantage going to that test had you guys been in class. So, I mean, you guys, I probably would have given you a study guide in class. However, it wouldn't have been, that thorough, one. And then two, you also would not have had it to have in front of you. So hopefully you guys do what you are supposed to and take the test without it in front of you. But I can't control everyone, but I want to see how you guys do. So before we get into the nitty gritty, couple of announcements. It's been like a week since I've been online. We've had some really major tech issues with my streaming computer and some of the displays, getting them to sync and link and do all that fun stuff. And also I've been working on a very special... how do I wear this jersey? Man City is garbage, and they're going to be kicked out of the Champions League. But that's beside the point. I will say this. I've been working on something. Is the Civil War facts and tests the only assignments this week? Yes. Actually, believe it or not, those are the only two I have this week. The school has me working on a super special, as of right now, secret assignment project for you guys. So I'm working on that. If we memorize the study guide, if you memorize that entire study guide, you will get probably a triple A on this test. I mean, let's be fair. That if you study that, memorize that study guide, you're doing wonders, kid. But yeah, study guide's huge. PowerPoints are huge. I would just go through those, and you guys should be fine. I mean, honestly, I'll put up a Quizlet for you guys for tonight, just to kind of get names and places and dates down. But yeah, you'll dominate. If it feels like it's taking me forever to respond to your comments, like I said, tech issues are solved for the most part right now. They're not perfect because it's like a 45-second delay tonight. So it's going to take a while till I see what you see. And actually, it doesn't take me long to see what you wrote. It's going to just take you a while to hear my response to it. So, that being said, let's see. And will there be a short answers? Ooh, Natalie, that's a great question. Followed up with a better answer. No, there will not be short answers. As much as it disappoints me, for the sheer sake of grading purposes, I am not doing short answer questions. I have done enough discussion boards with you guys that I do not need to warrant having a test with short answers. So, has it been terrible? How long is the test? Test is about 27 questions, give or take. I haven't made any final cuts and edits yet on this test. So I'm going to go with, it's probably about 25 to 27. It's not going to be less than 24. That I can guarantee. It's not going to be more than 30. So it's in that fine window. So it should be pretty slick for you guys. I think you guys will like it. You'll like it. I think you guys will be comfortable with it as long as you've kept up with everything. I know this last unit, Civil War, usually is one of my favorite units we teach, and because of this, it has been a bit of a cumbersome ride for many of us. So hopefully we get through this, and we got what's today, the 14th. In 7 days is the last day I can assign you assignments. The year is ending. It's so sad. However, there is light. There's some positive things. Yeah, we didn't have Great Venture. Okay? We didn't have a dance. That is true. Actually, your dance would have been like in April, if anything. How many days do we have to take the test? That's a good question. You have 1 week to take the test. So the test technically opens at 2:00 tomorrow, but you have like 9 days, because you get until the following Sunday, because I can't assign anything due on a Friday. It has to be due on a Sunday. So you guys get like 9 days to take that test, which is tons of time. If it takes you more than 9 days, we have a problem. But here's the thing. I'm going to address this now. I will put a note in Schoology for it, and it drives me crazy. It drove me crazy on the first test. Do not open the test, look at it, then turn it off to go do something else, and then come back to do it. Or don't think, I'm going to go look at the questions, turn off the test, and go look at answers. Don't do that. It's going to lock you out. It's gonna tell you you have used all of your attempts available. You can't do that. Go into it prepared. Okay, if you're, it's sad to say, if you're going to cheat better, because that's just getting you locked out and it's going to make it more difficult for you. So don't do that. Just be ready when it's time to open up that test and do your thing. You guys did a great job last time. I'm not super worried. I want you guys to feel comfortable going about it. But what I was saying is that there's a little thing that we're doing for the kids that you guys will like. I can tell you the teachers who are involved in it. It is myself, Miss Steckling, Miss Lowe, Miss Heidenthal. We're a team of 4. And we are the 4 that are heading up this thing. Also, Miss Williams is a part of this as well. At a different angle. But when it happens, you'll understand. I think it'll be fun. We'll see. Also, NJHS has been very disappointing for the rest of the half of the year. But if restrictions and things happen the way we'd like them to, there is a possibility of a social distanced celebration for NJHS. We're still in the infancy of how that would work, but it is a possibility. It is something that could happen. For a social distance NJHS celebration, for those of us who carried through and all the way. But in terms of celebrating our 8th graders, let's just say things are in motion. That's the best way to put it. Okay? So, question and answer time for your test. What's going to be there, what's not going to be. Now I get it. I'm going to start talking about Civil War test stuff, and then you guys are probably just going to hear what I just said, and you're going to ask questions. But if you don't ask questions, that's great. I can just move on. But I don't want to have to jump back and forth. So just leave it in the comments, and I'll come back to them in a little bit. After I've talked about Civil War stuff, I can answer your questions about anything that I've talked about by end of year. Also, guys, make sure you're turning in your textbooks. Textbooks, I know they've been calling you, because I get the phone calls too. Hey, Kathy. I get the phone calls as well. Also, if you guys left stuff in the building that you left in the building, like gym clothes, shoes, things like that, we have to go into the building and bag them up and leave them in the gym for you guys to come pick up. So it's a whole to-do. So make sure you guys are showing up, bringing in your stuff, bringing in your things, and submitting them. All right. So, on that note, let's talk about Civil War. Now, let's see. What are going to be the main things we need to know? Thank you. I love that question. It led in right where I'm going with it. Noah, who knew? Noah's going to ask a very topical and appropriate question. Here's the main parts. You need to know everything from the election of 1860 through the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. Okay, that's 1860. Well, technically, the fall of 1859. Or actually, no, the fall of 1860. I'm dumb. All the way through 1865, April of 1865. So if I were to chunk this test into parts, you would definitely need to know about why the election of 1860 was significant and how it led to the secession of the southern states. What state drove the secession first, and then which other states followed. The significance of the border states. Who were the border states, and why were they so unique as compared to the Union and the Confederacy? Know about the structure of the Confederate States of America. Who was the original president of the Confederate States of America? Where was its capital? Things like that. Those would definitely be things you want to know. Abraham Lincoln's policies on ending slavery. How did those things adjust over time? Being that I don't have a short answer question, because that would have been a great short answer question. How did Abraham Lincoln's views and policies on abolition of slavery adjust over time? If someone could put Kathy's answer into the chat, that'd be great. If I could have had you guys write that out, that'd have been a great way to see whether you know it. But I've figured out a pretty clever way of asking that question in a true-false format. So it'll be several true-falses in a row. But that being said, understand the introduction and the fight for the 14th Amendment specifically. That was the process in which we determine how they would become citizens and defining citizenship and things of that nature. And the 13th Amendment as well is about abolition of slavery. You're going to want to know specifically the battles, the key ones that we talked about. Of course, you need to know what happened at Fort Sumter. That's the opening of the war. You're definitely going to want to know the Battle of Manassas, a.k.a. Antietam. You're going to want to know the Battle at Bull Run. You're going to want to know the Battle of Gettysburg. Okay. You're going to want to know William Tecumseh Sherman. William Tecumseh Sherman and Ulysses S. Grant's march to the sea. That's where William Tecumseh Sherman pretty much is laid waste to the south, going from the Mississippi River west through Atlanta and through Georgia and just destroying everything in sight, ultimately with the goal of breaking the South's will to fight. If you destroy the thing they're fighting for, they're not going to fight anymore. That was ultimately the goal. You're going to need to know what happened at the Appomattox Courthouse. If you don't know, then you missed a pretty important part. The Appomattox Courthouse is where the war comes to an end because Ulysses S. Grant forces Robert E. Lee to surrender. Now, back on Gettysburg, you definitely need to know the significance of Gettysburg. Why was it such a horrific battle? Why was it so well known? What mistakes did Robert E. Lee make at Gettysburg? He even acknowledges it. Also, understand the importance of how it changed the view of the war. Okay? Much like how Antietam changed Lincoln's view of abolition, right? It was the single deadliest day in the Civil War, and it prompted the creation of the Gettysburg Address. You're going to want to know what was in the Gettysburg Address and what he's ultimately saying. There's a whole video on that. There's an entire stream we've done on that, so make sure you go back and look at that, and there's PowerPoints and stuff available. We guys did a discussion board on it. We should be fine. But if a lot of these things sound familiar to you, so if you remember what happened at Antietam and what was the main point, if you remember what happened at Gettysburg and what was the main point, like Pickett's Charge and all that fun stuff, if you remember what happened at Fort Sumter, which was the opening salvo or the opening battle of the Civil War, in which the South had claimed Fort Sumter and a U.S. military installation in South Carolina as its own, and the North's like, no, that's our stuff, get out. That's a huge one. Big part of the test, a lot of multiple choice questions on this, is, actually I think they're matching, if I'm not mistaken. Advantages and disadvantages. In fact, there's a section of the test where you have to match the advantages and disadvantages to the particular, to either the Union or to the Confederacy, the North or the South. Okay? You should be able to know who is who. Okay? That seems like a given, but trust me, it's not. You should know who is the Union, North, and who is the Confederacy, South. You'd be surprised. So you should be able to tell me the North had a significant population advantage, like nearly 9-1. They had a significant advantage in terms of raw material production, weapons production, uniform production, all those things. The vast majority of railroads, I believe it was like 75% to 80% of railroads resided in the North. They had all those advantages. But what did the South have advantages of? Well, a lot of the same ones Americans had in the American Revolution, right? So they had home field advantage. They had something to fight for. They were fearful that if they lose, they're going to lose all their stuff and they're going to be imprisoned, which almost didn't happen. In fact, Abraham Lincoln pardoned many people. In fact, actually, his vice president, Andrew Johnson, pardoned pretty much everybody. He was handing out pardons like candy. Okay? So if we're looking at what we need to know, the PowerPoints will pretty much walk you right through it. That will help you kind of format your stuff into questions. I strongly suggest going through the PowerPoints once or twice, rereading them, because it's going to give you the narrative. So, beginning, middle, end. Kind of like how we talked about, if we look at all the wars we've talked about involving America, well, all but of two, right? So we look at American Revolution, we look at Civil War. They have a definitive beginning, they have a definitive turning point, and they have a definitive end. American Revolution, if we recall, your beginning point was the Battle of Lexington and Concord. Your definitive turning point, that moment where the United States realized that they had a chance to win and they could actually win, Battle of Saratoga. And then you have the definitive end point, the final battle, Yorktown, okay, in 81. If you look at the Civil War, they have the same thing, right? You have the definitive beginning, the attack at Fort Sumter. Not really a battle, but it was the opening of fighting between the two sides. The definitive turning point, because there's a couple, there's two, right? The motivational turning point for the North was the reason to fight turning point for the North was Antietam. It gave them that inspiration of, before we were fighting to keep the Union together, but now we really need to abolish slavery because it's this destructive force that's trying to separate and destroy our country. But if you look at it from, winning the war, Gettysburg was the South's only attempt of trying to invade the North. It was a gross miscalculation, and we saw huge numbers of Confederate soldiers and Union soldiers, in fairness, being decimated. And it ultimately weakened the South into a point where they had to retreat back into the South. And it was the sign that, even Robert E. Lee, the greatest general in America, up to that point in American history, realistically, you're comparing, Washington and Nathaniel Greene and Horatio Gates. They did great things in the American Revolution and they won. But in terms of tactician, in terms of coming up with military strategy, Robert E. Lee they still teach Robert E. Lee's military tactics at the U.S. Military Academy, aka, I am struggling today, West Point. There it is. It took me a second. My brain's a little bit fried. I've been working on something for Mr. Boyce for, I don't know, feels like 6 days now. But that being said, Robert E. Lee's military tactics were second to no one. And Ulysses S. Grant, who is the head of the Union, a good extra credit question, because there's going to be 3 extra credit questions on the test. I forgot to bring that up. So anybody who dipped out of this early, missed on that. There are going to be 3 extra credit questions, and I'm going to give all of my live viewers a hint as to find the answer to one of them right here, right now. There was a general who fought for the North. He was not the first general to lead the Union, but he was the second general to lead the Union. Ultimately, would leave his post and would challenge Abraham Lincoln in the election of 1864 and would lose. If you know who he is, that will help you. There you go. So now you know. That would be the answer to one of the extra credit questions. So, having said that, we should know that William Tecumseh Sherman and Ulysses S. Grant implemented what we call total war. It's this idea of destroying their will to fight. Okay? It's not good enough to, defeat them on the battlefield. Destroy their homes, destroy their farms, destroy their plantation systems, destroy those things, and they'll give up because there's no reason to fight at that point. Okay? If you ever heard of the term, of the quote, "War is hell," that can be associated with William Tecumseh Sherman. He was not he was not really fond of the war most of the time. In fact, he felt it was the poor dying for the causes of the rich. So he wasn't particularly fond of that. And so, other than that, if you can go back and watch this on 75%, if you need to hear it again slower, this shouldn't have the same issue, because all of my tech problems started with that last stream where it didn't post. It was like a minute and a half, and it's been a nightmare lately. But we got everything hopefully back up and working. It's been days of tinkering and fixing. So here's what I'm going to be telling you. If you go through and watch this again, so you listen to all the things I've said, those are the main points of the test. There's going to be, of course, little things I'm not thinking of right this second. I don't have the test in front of me. It's on my other computer downstairs, so I don't have it in front of me to tell you, and it wouldn't be fair for me to do that for you. But I'm telling you, if you look at your study guide, you look at the PowerPoint, you watch this video again, you go back and watch some of the other ones on Civil War, then you guys will be more than prepared. Like, so prepared. You'll be ready to go. So, at this point, if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the chat. That way I can see what your questions are. And that way, if anybody has any lingering thoughts, ideas, plans, I don't know, I haven't talked to you guys in a while. You want to tell me what's going on in your lives? How's life going? What you doing? How's your Animal Crossing island? Whatever it is you're doing. It's going to take a second for you guys to get to this, though. That's why I hate this 45-second delay. It's driving me nuts. I got to get this fixed. I'm watching myself on the other screen. This is really weird. Oh, there we go. Can online school end already? Can we just let it die? Are there bonus questions, written responses? Nope. Single answer. Single answer. Single word answer. It'll come to an end soon, Norman. We're almost done. I hate online school. Well, hopefully we can make best of it. It is not. I promise you right here, right now, none of your teachers are enjoying this very much. I mean, if they are, I don't know. They haven't told me that. But, Elephant Norman, can it end already? But I like it. No, and it stinks because some teachers have, it's killing me. Some teachers have classroom control and management and persona and things, and I thrive on working in a classroom. This is not how I thrive. I feel like I'm doing you guys a disservice. I feel like it's not. I know it's not the same. That is excruciatingly clear. But it does. I feel like I'm not doing what I could do. Oh man, Kendall throwing Emery under the bus right now. Boom, boom. Okay. Are the summer assignments posted on our high school's website? I don't know. I would have to go. I would suggest you to go to the high school website and look. Can I use my mom's extra credit if I failed a test? Why does your mom have extra credit? If she does have some built in, we'll let you use it, sure. For the extra credit, was it McClellan? Well, that sounds like a good idea. Just gonna say. But yeah, I miss you guys. I miss being in the building. I was in the building on Wednesday. It's just empty and dead, and there's nobody inside. Everybody has to wear masks and gloves and walk through like a little sanitation station. It's just weird. And then I'll be back there next week as well. So, doing a special project for you guys. Just saying. Anyhow. So if there's any other questions, go ahead, follow through. Let's see. Because she worked. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's true. Your mom did earn extra credit for my class by working the haunted house. We'll see if you need it, Noah. That's my thing. Is because at the end of the day, at the end of the quarter, you can only have up to 100. So if you're sitting at like a 96 and I give you your extra credit, it'll put you at 100. But if you have like a 98, I miss Chicago Fire. The show? Oh, okay. I'm thinking like the soccer team. I was like, ew. You like them too? I'm a Chicago guy, but geez. Oof. That's even worse. Oh my, one eye's like open more than the other. It's weird. I feel like there. Now I just look a little more sleepy. Okay, make sure it's right eye. So, like I said, extra credit questions, 1-word answers. Okay, really just fill them in. It's okay. I was about to say, you guys live in a world where you don't really even need to worry about things being like, oh, I missed a show. Okay, well, it'll be on Hulu, Netflix, all these other streaming services, and someone probably illegally put it up on YouTube by giving it a weird name. So I'm sure you'll be cool with it. So, anyhow, that being said, well, it looks like my new NJHS members found out they're NJHS members. That's exciting for them. They've earned their stripes. They have yet to meet or anything. They will not probably pick officers until the beginning of next year. We're in a brave new world, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not even sure what to say at this point. Not even sure how we're gonna continue on and do what we're doing, but I'm sure it'll be different. Your guys' high school experience will start interestingly. And me, myself, and I, there's a chance I might move classrooms. Hey, that's weird. And there's a chance I might not. So it's up to our new principal, who I met. Nice guy. Also named Scott. It's weird. Scott with 2 T's, not 1 T. Now 1 T. Oh, spill the tea. Okay. Mr. Rob. Okay. ... I believe Kendall's going to say something. It's funny how Kendall speaks so much, and she's not even in my class. How's your day going, Mr. Rob? My day is fine. Most likely gives ways answers. I don't give away answers all the time. I just hint, wink, wink at things. They know if it's the right answer or not. My day's going swell. A lot of working, a lot of chasing my son around. He's learned lots of new words. He screams pizza at people. He thinks it's funny. So that's where we're at now. How's your day, Kathy? Hopefully everything's going well. How's everybody today? Hopefully everybody's been doing well. It's weird. I don't get to say yee-hee at people anymore. I don't get to make fun of people's hair as much anymore. As you can tell, mine just doesn't come in, so there's nothing to make fun of, so it's kind of boring. No one has a new principal. Yes, we do. We will have a new principal starting next. Oh, that's not good. There's a little glitch in my video I just saw. Yeah, we have a new principal starting next year. He will be starting in the fall. So, yeah. No, not the soccer team, the show. Even worse. Alright, so. Yeah, Mr. Cooper is our new principal. Exciting. We just were told we also have a new assistant principal. I just forget what her name is. Dr. something. I do know it's a doctor, so ooh, fancy. Very smart and educated. Okay. So, man, we good? Yeah, I'm good. You good? Yeah, I'm good. Cool. You good? I'm good. That's good. Everybody looks to be good, man. Kathy's good. My God, that's a long delay. I feel like I asked that question a while ago. Oh, that's a delay. That's a significant delay. Alright, well, that's good. I'm glad to see everybody's doing well. Okay? Superman does good. You're doing well. Okay? It's like when my mom used to say, "Hi, Chris. Hey." Horses eat hay. Whatever. She was such a stickler on grammar. So, like I said, tomorrow we're going to be on at noon. I'm going to give you a longer, more in-depth version. I'm sure there's quite a few people who, well, let's be fair, our numbers have been dwindling since the beginning. Clearly, I'm not the entertaining, exciting watch as many people may have believed I'd be. But that's okay because, virtual school is tough for everybody. And what I will say is this, I'll be on at noon. It'll probably last 45 minutes to an hour. At 2 o'clock, the test will go live, and you will have until the following Sunday, so not that first Sunday, but the next one, to complete the test and get it done. On that note, I want everyone to have a wonderful evening, have a second helping of dinner for me, think of me, and eat that extra plate of whatever, or eat the dessert, or whatever it might be. Is what it is. Have a wonderful evening. Be good, be safe, be well. Adios, Maddie. Have a wonderful life. Or day. Sorry, it's not quite there yet. We're not quite at the end of the year. I'm like, deuces, never saw you again. But think of it this way, ladies and gentlemen, those who are still in the chat, at least you won't have to say goodbye to me in person. Because that would be difficult, because you'd have to sit and watch me cry. That's not true. I don't cry. Anywho, that being said, have a wonderful night. Be good, be safe, be well, bye-bye. If you like this class and other classes like it, go ahead and click like and subscribe. And go ahead and hit the button down here and do your thing. I mean, let's be fair. If you were going to subscribe, you already subscribed by now. So, adios, mis amigos y amigas. My mouse is all missing. Over and out.